Hi everybody, hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned because I have more projects coming on the way. So today, my topic I'm going to be discussing today is about how I met my father and how it's based on a true story. Um, when I grew up, when I was adopted, I had to take the adopted last name. Judy was married to her first ex-husband at the time. And then a few years come by, divorced again, got remarried again to Greg, who is her second ex-husband. So before I get into the story of how I met my father, I want to explain how it was for me when I was a kid growing up. So I was treated different than her two sons, and with both of her marriages that she had with Sam and Greg, I never really had like a father-daughter bond. Really, to be honest with you, I was never loved in my life. I was never once told you I love you too. I had a rough childhood, and I've always wanted to have a father too, not just to be there for me, but to do things with. And that's why I look up to my grandfather as a father, because my grandfather, my Papa Bear, I miss and I love him so much. He's like a father to me too. He's like 2-in-1 for me, because Sam and Greg, I was really punished all the time, and I've always gotten the blame, and I just had a harsh childhood. I just was never loved. I just was always the one that was always been put to work. And it was tough for me. And I had to go through it. And I went through it. And it's hard and it was hard. It was a tough road for me. It was really hard. After all of the years have come by, after when I was 18, I moved forward with my life. I moved to a few different places to where I'm at now, presently. I've always wanted to know who my father was. And if Judy was the one to tell me when I was like 8 years old or something, Jesse, you'll understand it later in life, like in my later teenage years. And did she yet tell me in my later teenage years? No, she didn't. And, some parents are like that with their child, and because their child has never had a father and was wondering about, like, seriously, like, it hurts a child to grow up not knowing who the father is and being lied to. I was lied to all the time growing up. And I've always deserved the truth. I've always deserved to know the truth, and I was just told lies about everything. So yeah, Judy never really told me anything. It was just all a lie. And then some other things had happened too for the past few years now, after I had met my father and come to find out that they didn't want to tell me. My grandfather actually told me they did not want to tell me who my father was. Not that that didn't haunt me, but just because we all have done things when we are young does not mean it can affect you the rest of your life, and you can have an outcome for the rest of your life, and you learn from your mistakes. And we all have been there, done that. Some people are still addicted to things, but at the exact same time, yeah. So it's always a hide secret for me. It's always something for me, and it's always against me. So yeah, don't I not deserve the truth? Of course I deserve the truth. So my aunt told me who my father was, and I did my researching on who he was. And me, I have really good connections when it comes to trying to find the right person, because when you're going up 411, now these days, people don't have house phones, unless if you're like an elderly person. But at the exact same time, most people really don't have house phones. Everything is all technology with cell phones. So when I looked him up, I looked Michael up through everything, 411, and a few other things I was able to search for free, and I found him. And then on the way home, this was when I met him over the phone, which was like spring of 2018. We were on the phone And he was wondering who I was. And when I said, do you know a Joan Latham? Then he says, he really thought I was like a scammer or something. I said, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to find my dad. So with all that being said, he was nervous. And so was I. I was nervous too. And I was really shocked. He actually answered the house phone. And we spoke. And he told me he knows everything about the Lathams. And not that what he has on the Lathams, but he was telling me everything. He was telling me all good memories and everything. And at the exact same time, I met him when I was working at the Walmart in Guilford before my transfer. And we went to a diner after work. And we ate and talked, get to know each other and everything. So as months come by, after I would say almost to a good like 6 months, things were like... So before I get into all of that, my mom died in August. So that same year when I met my dad, it was like 2 or 3 months afterwards. My father had wanted me to meet up with him at a place where he used to go with my mom in Lyme. I forgot the name of the place. It was like some lake. And so I met him there and we hung out and stuff like that. So with the time being, after getting to know each other, he thinks that I can always answer my phone all the time. He was calling me constantly when I'm at work. I'm not like him where I can answer my phone all the time because he does painting for a business. So, you know, within that 6 months, it was great knowing who he was. And as my granny would say, he's just a sperm donor who thinks he is my father. But at the end, when I went to the end of this video, it's going to be like, he's not father material, because he comes to find out he's not father material. He told me he wanted to hire a private investigator to find me. But then I found him, and he had always found ways to know what I was doing with my life and stuff like that. So Mike and I had our ups and downs. It all started about like a month or two after August of that year. Because he has to understand, like, I'm not like him working to my phone all the time. I work. But as times come by, like, yes, he said some hurtful things to me, but because I'm used to the bullying and I'm used to name calling, I'm used to everything from growing up, that it does not bother me. But you don't say that about my grandparents. He said some things. So, but I'm not getting into, but at the exact same time, it does not bother me. But what bothered me the most was during those 2 years we were talking back and forth, and at the exact same time, like, I just couldn't do it anymore. We can never have a conversation every single night or whenever we talk. We can never have a conversation with him repeating himself. He always says to me, I wish your mom was here, my mom and my brother. He repeats that like every 4 minutes, and it got so annoying after a month. And I had to start slowing down my calls from him and everything. Start lying to him, like, like, I'm sorry I was busy, to lay low, because I understand the love that you had for my mom, but she's long gone. And I wish she was here, because my life would be different compared to now. But at the exact same time, it just got so annoying that we started going back and forth. So there was this one night, I think he was like coming home drunk or something like that, because when he gets loud is when he gets drunk. You know he's drunk. So there was this one I want to play.
Hi, it's me. Listen, hi. Do me a favor. I've been there for you. I talk the truth. If you got a problem with something, communicate with me. But if you hang up on me, right, and disown me, if I mirror that, it's called mirror that. If I mirror you, I'll disown you. Okay? And everybody, disowned you. Try to understand this. I don't like that. Okay? And it's hard to communicate with you. Okay? So, all right? So, maybe you don't like the truth or whatever. But do not ever do that again. Okay? Seriously. All right? You can stay there with your donuts and your state housing and do what you got to do. I get it. I did 7 years in prison. So write that down for marijuana. 7 years. A lot harder than you did. So, but do not ever fucking hang up on me. Okay? You want to know the truth? Then deal with it. I get a tough life worse than you.
So that right there was about the night that it got so bad where, like, I couldn't stand it anymore. I seen a little love that you have from my mom, but you repeating yourself of the exact same people. Joan, my mom, his mom, and his brother, like, every 4 minutes. It got to a part where, like, I did hang up on him. I had to pretend that I had to lie and say my phone died. Like, that's how he was to me that night. Like, there's other things that was said that I'm not going to get into, of the things that he said, because it just proved to me a lot about him. And he actually lived, like, not even, I would say 8 minutes from me, actually. But at the exact same time, I've learned within the 2 years after I finally decided that I'm giving up and everything on him, because I was really looking forward to spend my life with him. You know, knowing who he is and learning, doing things together, learning about the person. And there's a lot that can prove to you about who the person can be. And I'm used to it being hurt, but at the exact same time, at the exact same time, he basically proved to me that he is not father material. He has been there for me. He has helped me, like, a few times, and that's it. But at the exact same time, he just proved to me a lot that he's not father material, and he has things going on for himself too. So he has a rough road too. So, but at the exact same time, I'm learning, as life is all about. We learn, we live, we grow, and we just move on and just be ourselves, and then that's that. So basically, that is based on a true story about how I met my father and how I had a good patch up until a few months after, back and forth, and it was nice knowing him for the 2 years, but it was time to move on. So thank you for listening and inspiring this story. I know there's probably a lot of people out there wondering who their father is and would like to meet them. And, everyone is different, unique, so at the exact same time, you're loved, and be you and be strong, because, again, not many people out there that don't have really fathers, and I really wish I did. And yes, it hurts, but it's alright. I look up to my grandfather as both father and grandfather, so that's really about it. And if I lose him, oh my God, it's life. I know people pass away, but knock on wood for him, because he's up there. Like, he's in his 80s, so it will help me a lot when he is not living anymore, because he is a great father, grandfather, brother, friend. He really is, and you would enjoy having conversations with him. You can even have a conversation about deals, and it's interesting. He would tell you everything. Like, he's a great, like, father / grandfather to talk to. And I always choose that. Thank you for watching this video and taking your time. Not that I hope that this inspires, but just know, again, you are loved, and unique inside and out, and no matter what, at least you have a mom and a dad or a mom, but no matter what. And stay tuned, I have more projects on the way, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned.